That's why a woman can receive 20 compliments in a week and forget 19 of them. The one she remembers is usually the one that touched something deeper than appearance. I learned this years ago during a conversation with a woman in her 30s. She was intelligent, successful, attractive, the kind of woman who had heard every compliment imaginable. One day she told me something that stuck with me. She said, "Do you know what compliment I still remember from 5 years ago?" I assumed it would be something romantic, something about her beauty. It wasn't. A man had looked at her after a difficult situation and simply said, "You're much stronger than people realize." That's it. No flirting, no dramatic speech, just one sentence. And she remembered it for years. Why? Because he saw something she secretly wished someone would notice. Most people walk through life feeling unseen, not physically, emotionally. A woman may look confident on the outside while carrying insecurities nobody knows about. She may seem independent while quietly wondering if anyone appreciates how much responsibility she carries. She may appear calm while fighting battles inside her own mind every day. When a compliment reaches one of those hidden places, something changes. Psychologically, attraction often grows in moments of emotional recognition, not when someone is impressed by us, when someone understands us. And that's where the first compliment becomes incredibly powerful. Not because it's clever, not because it's romantic, but because it speaks directly to something women rarely hear. The first compliment is this: "I admire how you handle things when life gets difficult." Notice how different that feels. You're not complimenting her appearance. You're not trying to impress her. You're acknowledging her resilience, her character, the parts of her that existed long before she met you. And something fascinating happens when a woman feels appreciated for her inner strength. She begins to feel safe being more of herself around you. Because most people praise the polished version of her, very few people recognize the woman who fought hard to become that version. And often, that's the woman she most wants to be seen. The deeper question is this: if you stripped away her beauty, her style, her social image, and everything that gets attention, what would you still admire? Because your answer to that question reveals whether your compliment feels ordinary or unforgettable. There is something I wish more men understood. Women are praised for what they do long before they're appreciated for who they are. Think about it. People compliment her appearance, her achievements, her role as a mother, daughter, employee, friend. The world constantly evaluates her performance, how she looks, how she behaves, how useful she is to others. And over time, many women begin to wonder something they rarely say out loud. If I stopped performing, would anyone still value me? That's why the second compliment reaches much deeper than most men expect. It's simple. I like who you are when you're not trying to impress anyone. Now pause for a second and really feel that. Because this isn't a compliment about success. It's not about status. It's not even about confidence. It's about authenticity. And authenticity is one of the most attractive things a human being can recognize in another person. I remember speaking with a woman after the end of a long relationship. She wasn't heartbroken because she lost the man. She was heartbroken because she felt she had spent years becoming someone she thought he wanted. Years. Imagine carrying that feeling. Imagine waking up one day and realizing the person you loved never really knew the unfiltered version of you. The version that laughs too loudly, the version that gets anxious, the version that says the wrong thing sometimes, the version that's messy and imperfect and human. When someone genuinely appreciates that version, walls begin to lower, slowly, almost invisibly, but they lower. Because attraction is not only about admiration, it's about relief. Relief from pretending, relief from managing impressions, relief from constantly wondering whether you're enough. And this leads directly to the third compliment, one that many men overlook because it sounds almost too simple. I always feel calmer when I'm around you. Now be careful, this isn't something you say casually if it isn't true. Women are remarkably sensitive to sincerity. If words don't match reality, they feel it. But when it's genuine, this compliment touches something profound. Because modern life is noisy, everyone wants something: attention, validation, results, reactions. Many women spend their days navigating pressure they never discuss: family expectations, work stress, relationship uncertainty, the invisible emotional labor of caring about everyone else's feelings. So when a man says, "I feel calmer around you," what she's often hearing is something deeper. She's hearing, "Your presence improves my life." Not because of what you do for me, not because of how you look, not because of what you give me, simply because you're you. That kind of compliment creates emotional warmth, and emotional warmth is often the foundation upon which attraction quietly grows. Not fireworks, not obsession, not drama, just a growing sense that being together feels good. And here's what fascinates me. Many men chase excitement, yet countless women fall in love through comfort. Not boredom, not predictability, comfort. The feeling that they can exhale, the feeling that they don't need armor, the feeling that someone sees them without demanding a performance. When a woman experiences that feeling repeatedly around a man, she begins associating him with emotional safety. And emotional safety is far more powerful than most people realize. Because attraction may capture attention, but emotional safety is what makes someone want to stay. And the next compliment we're going to talk about reveals something even more powerful than safety. It reveals respect. And without respect, attraction rarely survives for long. Respect is an interesting thing. Most people think they give it automatically, but genuine respect is actually quite rare. You can desire someone without respecting them. You can admire someone's appearance without respecting them. You can even love someone and still fail to fully respect who they are. And women notice the difference far more often than men realize. I've sat across from women who were in relationships with men that constantly praised their beauty. Men who called them gorgeous. Men who told them they were attractive every day. Yet those same women felt emotionally disconnected. Why? Because beneath all the compliments was a painful realization. He admired her appearance, but he didn't truly respect her mind. That brings us to the fourth compliment. One of the most powerful compliments a woman can hear. "I respect the way you think." Not, "You're smart." Not, "You're intelligent." Those are nice, but they can feel generic. Respecting the way someone thinks is different. It means you're paying attention to how they process the world, how they solve problems, how they make decisions, how they arrive at conclusions. In other words, you're valuing their perspective, and psychologically that's incredibly meaningful. Because every person wants to feel that their inner world matters. Imagine a woman sharing an opinion with 10 people. 9 dismiss it. 1 genuinely listens and says, "I never looked at it that way before." Which person do you think she'll remember? The one who made her feel heard. Always. There's a reason meaningful conversations create attraction. Conversation isn't just exchanging information, it's revealing identity. Every time someone shares a belief, a dream, a fear, or a perspective, they're showing you pieces of who they are. When you respect those pieces, connection deepens, and that naturally leads to the fifth compliment. This one is surprisingly emotional because it touches something many women rarely receive. The compliment is, "You make people feel important." Think about that for a moment. Most compliments focus on what someone possesses: beauty, talent, success. This compliment focuses on impact, the effect she has on others, the energy she brings into a room, the way she listens, the way she remembers small details, the way she makes people feel seen. And here's what makes this powerful. Many genuinely caring women spend years giving emotional support to others. They encourage friends, they comfort family members, they listen when people are struggling, they show up when it matters. Yet very few people stop and acknowledge that gift. Very few people recognize how much emotional value they create. When a man notices that quality, he's recognizing something deeper than attraction. He's recognizing character. And character-based compliments tend to linger because beauty changes. Circumstances change. Life changes. Character is different. Character feels permanent. I once asked a woman what made her fall for her husband. Her answer surprised me. She didn't mention his appearance. She didn't mention his career. She said, "He noticed things about me that nobody else noticed." That's it. That was her answer. Because being deeply seen creates a feeling that is difficult to forget. Not because it flatters the ego, because it satisfies a human need, the need to feel known. And when a woman feels genuinely known by a man, Attraction often begins moving beyond curiosity. It starts becoming emotional attachment. But there are still 3 compliments left, and the next one may be the most overlooked of all, because it doesn't praise who she is today, it acknowledges who she's becoming. Have you ever met someone who seemed to believe in you before you fully believed in yourself? Most people never forget that person, not because they were flattering, not because they constantly offered encouragement, but because they saw potential at a moment when it was still invisible. That brings us to the 6th compliment, and honestly, this one is far more powerful than many men realize. I think you're becoming an even stronger version of yourself. Notice what makes this different. You're not complimenting her current achievements, you're recognizing her growth. You're paying attention to the direction she's moving. Psychologically, that's important because growth is deeply personal. Most women are aware of their mistakes, their insecurities, the moments they wish they had handled differently. They often carry private doubts that nobody sees. So when someone notices genuine progress, not perfection but progress, it feels incredibly meaningful. Because growth can be lonely. Think about it. A woman might spend months working on herself emotionally, learning healthier boundaries, becoming more confident, healing from old experiences, changing habits, facing uncomfortable truths. Most of that work happens internally, quietly, without applause, without recognition. Then one day someone says, "You seem different in a really good way." And suddenly all those invisible efforts feel seen, noticed, valued. And something subtle happens. She begins associating that feeling with the person who recognized it. Now let's talk about the 7th compliment. This one often surprises people because it sounds almost too simple. Yet it reaches an emotional place that many women protect very carefully. The compliment is, "I trust you." Not blindly, not recklessly, just sincerely. "I trust you." Those 3 words carry enormous emotional weight, because trust isn't admiration, trust is vulnerability. Trust means you're willing to lower your guard. You're willing to be honest. You're willing to reveal parts of yourself that aren't polished. And here's something many men miss. Women often spend a lot of time wondering whether they can trust someone. Much less often do they hear that someone genuinely trusts them. When a man says it authentically, he's communicating something powerful. "I feel emotionally safe with you." That's not weakness, it's connection. In fact, one of the strongest things a man can do is communicate trust without losing his sense of self. Because real confidence doesn't need constant protection. Real confidence allows honesty. I remember a woman describing the moment she realized she was falling for someone. She didn't mention romance. She didn't mention chemistry. She didn't mention appearance. She said, "For the first time, I felt like he trusted me with the real version of himself." That stayed with me. Because attraction often begins with curiosity. But emotional intimacy begins with trust. And emotional intimacy changes everything. It creates depth. It creates meaning. It creates a bond that exists beyond physical attraction. The truth is, many people spend their entire lives showing others carefully edited versions of themselves. The strongest connections happen when that editing starts to disappear. When 2 people stop performing, when they stop managing every impression, when they allow themselves to be seen honestly. And the final compliment we're about to explore ties all of this together, because it speaks to something every human being wants, whether they admit it or not. The desire to know that their existence genuinely matters in another person's life. The older I get, the more convinced I become of something simple. Most people are starving for significance, not attention. There's a difference. Attention says, "I notice you." Significance says, "You matter to me." And those are not the same thing. A person can receive endless attention and still feel emotionally empty. They can be admired, desired, complimented, even pursued, and still quietly wonder whether they truly matter to anyone. That's why the 8th compliment is so powerful. In fact, it may be the most emotionally impactful compliment on this entire list. It's this: "My life is better because you're in it." Take a moment and really feel those words, not as a romantic line, not as a technique, as a truth. Because when spoken sincerely, this compliment reaches beyond attraction. It touches meaning, And meaning is one of the deepest human needs we have. Think about the relationships that changed your life. Maybe someone believed in you during a difficult period. Maybe someone supported you when nobody else did. Maybe someone simply stayed when leaving would have been easier. You probably remember them. Not because they were perfect, because they mattered. Women are no different. Behind confidence, behind independence, behind strength, there is still a human being who wants to know that her presence has value, that her existence leaves a positive mark on the people she cares about. When a man genuinely communicates that truth, something profound happens. She doesn't just feel admired, she feels meaningful, and meaningful connections are the ones that tend to last. I once spoke with a woman in her late 50s who had been married for decades. I asked her what compliment stayed with her longer than any other. After a long pause, she smiled. Then she said, "One day my husband told me that every good thing in his life felt brighter because I was part of it." She looked away for a second before continuing. "You know what's funny? I don't remember what I was wearing that day. I don't remember where we were. I don't even remember what year it happened. But I remember exactly how it made me feel. That's the difference. People forget details. They remember feelings. Years later, they remember feelings. And when we look at all 8 compliments together, a pattern starts to emerge. None of them focus primarily on appearance. None of them rely on charm. None of them require clever words. They all have one thing in common. They communicate genuine observation, genuine appreciation, genuine understanding. Because attraction isn't created by saying the perfect thing. It's created when another person feels emotionally recognized, when they feel that someone is paying attention to the parts of them that most people overlook. The strongest compliments don't tell someone what they want to hear. They tell someone what they secretly hope is true. And that difference changes everything. Because people are rarely moved by flattery. They're moved by truth. The kind of truth that makes them pause. The kind of truth that makes them feel seen. The kind of truth they carry home long after the conversation ends. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with something that might challenge the way you've been thinking about attraction. Many men spend years searching for the perfect words, the perfect text message, the perfect compliment, the perfect moment, as if attraction is a puzzle that can be solved if you find the right combination. But human beings don't work that way. Women don't fall in love with compliments, they fall in love with experiences. And compliments become powerful only when they are evidence of genuine attention. That's the part most people miss. A compliment isn't valuable because it sounds good. It's valuable because it proves you've been paying attention, really paying attention, not looking, observing, not hearing, listening, not waiting for your turn to speak, trying to understand. And understanding is becoming increasingly rare. We're living in a world where people are constantly visible but rarely known. Everyone is posting. Everyone is talking. Everyone is presenting versions of themselves. Yet so many people still feel invisible, especially in relationships, especially when it comes to the parts of themselves they don't easily share. The fears, the doubts, the dreams, the quiet strengths, the wounds they've learned to hide. When you notice those things respectfully and sincerely, something changes. You stop becoming just another person seeking attention from her. You become someone who understands her. And understanding creates a type of attraction that feels very different from excitement. Excitement captures attention. Understanding captures the heart. Now, I want to tell you something that may be uncomfortable. Some men hear conversations like this and immediately think, "Great, now I know what to say." But that's the wrong lesson. Because if these compliments become scripts, they lose their power. The goal isn't to memorize words. The goal is to develop the kind of awareness that makes those words true. Anyone can tell a woman she's strong. Not everyone notices the battles she's fighting. Anyone can say she's special. Not everyone can explain why. Anyone can offer praise. Not everyone can offer understanding. And women are often remarkably skilled at sensing that difference. That's why the most attractive quality behind every compliment we've discussed isn't confidence. It isn't charisma. It isn't charm. It's presence. The ability to truly see another human being, to notice details, to recognize effort, to appreciate character. to value who someone is beneath appearances. Ironically, when a man learns to do that, something unexpected happens. He changes too. Because people who genuinely see others often become more self-aware themselves, more emotionally intelligent, more grounded, more authentic. And those qualities improve every relationship they touch. So if there's one thing I hope you remember after this video, it's this. The compliments women remember most are rarely the ones that make them feel beautiful. They're the ones that make them feel understood. And in a world where so many people feel unseen, understanding can be one of the most attractive gifts you ever give another person. If this conversation made you think differently about attraction, relationships, or the hidden psychology behind connection, subscribe and join me for the next one. There are truths about human nature that only reveal themselves when we're willing to look a little deeper.